MMA Boxing Talk here. This is a post-fight video for Tony Ferguson versus Rafael dos Anjos. What a fight that was. 5 rounds. Most people didn't think it would go the distance, including myself. Excuse me. But I did have Tony Ferguson winning this fight. I predicted that. I wasn't right exactly on the precise prediction, but picking Tony Ferguson, I was right, and I was confident enough. And in the end, when we look back on the 25 minutes, the whole fight, when we look back, he won the fight comfortably. He won it easily. You know, when you look at the strikes landed, the percentages landed, the significant strikes, it's not even close. And just watching the fight, I mean, there was a couple close rounds. The first round, I did give it to Rafael dos Anjos. Second round was totally Tony Ferguson. Third round was a little bit closer. RDA seemed to really tag Ferguson with a couple nice, the crisper, harder shots, snapping Ferguson's head back, but still was more. Ferguson was much more had much more output in that third round, and then the fourth and fifth weren't even close. Tony Ferguson was, in the third and fourth and fifth round, dancing around in there. Like there'd be moments where he'd be doing little dancing moves, trying to throw off RDA. I don't know, or just being confident. I mean, and RDA hit him with his best shots, man. Tony Ferguson, I knew he had a great chin, but man, he just once again solidified it. His last fight against Lando Venata, last minute opponent, no footage on the guy, very funky style. His nickname's Groovy. He'll be fighting at UFC 205. That's Lando Venata. That's gonna be a good fight. But when he fought when Ferguson fought Lando Venata, he was walking in there not knowing what to expect, and just, I'm the better fighter. I'm gonna go kick his ass. Backfired at the beginning, but Ferguson's toughness, but his recovery skills, he showed the most tremendous recovery skills in that fight. And in this fight, he just showed a tremendous chin. He showed a tremendous chin against Venata, but in this fight, he was never rocked. He might have been buzzed, but he didn't show it. And I don't even know if he was buzzed. But Tony Ferguson he's a freak of nature. I knew this guy had a great chin. He proved it tonight. He had 200 total strikes landed. 199 of them were significant. Rafael dos Anjos landed 126 total strikes to Tony Ferguson's 200 strikes. Significant strikes, Ferguson landed 78 more significant strikes against Rafael dos Anjos, who did not quit in this fight. He was, clearly outmatched from round 2 on, but he stayed in it, and there was some close moments, and he landed on Ferguson, and he looked good during certain moments throughout the fight. But in the end, Ferguson dominated 80% of the fight, 75% of the fight. He's for real, and I've been really high on Ferguson ever since he fought Barbosa. Before that fight, I was kind of on board with Ferguson, and a huge fan already. And then he goes out and has that crazy performance against Edson Barbosa, which was his best win leading up into this fight. Now this is his best win. 5 round decision, dominant decision against Rafael dos Anjos. Tony Ferguson did what Rafael dos Anjos did to Anthony Pettis. Ferguson did that to RDA. He just RDA'd him. But in Ferguson's funky, smooth, aggressive, risk-taking, but he also was conservative at moments, but he got clipped a lot of times, and I was worried, but his chin is just that good, and I knew his chin was good, but it just solidified it that it's that good, and maybe it's because he doesn't do sparring. Ferguson doesn't train with any UFC fighters. He's a real diamond in the rough, this guy. Just an absolute stud. Huge fan of him. 9 wins in a row. 9 wins in a row. Him and Max Holloway, Max Holloway, it's funny because Max Holloway and Ferguson, Max Holloway's been screwed over because of Conor McGregor. It's too bad, but after Eddie Alvarez, that has to be cleared up, the featherweight division. But I want to see Holloway, fight Aldo. He has to get past Pettis first. So that's not gonna be easy. But I think Holloway has what it takes to beat Pettis. But and Max Holloway, he's 9-0, 9-0. No, sorry, 9-0, 9-fight win streak. Ferguson 9-fight win streak. Both guys are 5'11". The reach is way off, but Max Holloway has talked and been on the record saying that he is interested in the future at fighting 150 at 155, which is no surprise. He's a young guy. He's super tall. He's a big featherweight. He's going to move up eventually, but he's going to try to conquer that division first, I believe, and I think he has a damn good chance of doing that. But eventually, 2-3 years from now, who knows? But I could see Ferguson fighting Max Holloway, which are two of my favorite fighters. That'd be unreal. But this fight, Ferguson showed everything. He showed it all the tools, and as much as he can be a very funky fighter, a very unpredictable fighter, which he was tonight. But it really is it just goes to show how RDA, how amazing he really is. He showed his toughness. Hats off to him. And he made Tony Ferguson look not so funky, not so. He was wild and he was still creative. But when you watch Tony Ferguson's old fights, I mean, he's even that much more rambunctious and creative and risk taking even more. He kind of harnessed that a little bit against RDA, which harnessing that was very, very smart, and that just goes to show he has fighter IQ. And yes, he was getting cracked, but he knows when he's fucked, and he knows, when he's eating the shots and marching forward. And he was doing that, and he took RDA's best shots. It's unbelievable. I've said it for a long time. He's a horrible matchup for Conor McGregor. He beats Conor McGregor. He beats Khabib Nurmagomedov. I said he'd beat Dos Anjos, and he just did that tonight very decisively. He's the real deal, and I think he will be champion before long. And I hope Conor McGregor, I hope the winner. I'm picking Conor McGregor. Go check out my prediction video to beat Eddie Alvarez. But the winner of that fight has to fight Tony Ferguson. He's the man. 9 in a row. Best division in the UFC. What more do you want? El CUCUY in Mexico. 5-round dominant decision against RDA. What do you think? This guy is for real, and he's marketable. And he didn't even talk shit at the end of the fight. He could have name dropped a bunch of guys. He could have said, Conor, I want you. I want the winner of Conor and Eddie. I want Khabib. He's ducked me once. He could have talked shit. Doesn't say nothing. Doesn't, salutes the crowd with a Mexican saying slogan. I don't know what he said. But he's for real. And he's not going anywhere. Tony Ferguson, El CUCUY, the boogeyman. Get some. He is can't miss television. That's it for this one. If you liked the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMABoxingTalk1. Peace.